Hello everyone, and welcome back to Fantasy Kingdom, and welcome to a brand new area that we're starting in today's video. It's been a little while since I uploaded anything, coming up to 2 weeks, which is quite a long time for me. But I have been working on stuff. I've got quite a lot done in this one. We basically build most of this area, including a big signature ride that's going in. So I'm very happy with how that's come together. Firstly, just something I thought I would mention, because you probably noticed already, I do not have the best microphone. The sound quality on it is basically it's a very cheap microphone, and I desperately need a new one. So I'm sorry if you hear any sort of feedback noise in the background, or you know, this is, if you plug it into certain USB sockets, it gives sort of a ringing sound in the background, which is really irritating. And I have to use effects and stuff on Audacity, the audio editing software, to make sure that you can't hear the sort of ringing in the background, because it's horrible. So I was thinking about setting up like a Patreon thing or something like that, but I don't think I'll get a lot for it, to be honest, so I'm not going to bother with all of that. Hopefully I will be able to buy a new microphone at some point. I've been told the Blue Yeti ones are quite good, but look at the prices, they are quite expensive. But if not, I'll do a bit of research and see if I can come up with something better, just to improve the quality of these commentaries, because I know, you know, they're not ideal anyway, because I do have quite a boring voice when it's recorded. But I can't really do anything about that, so we'll see what happens and try and get that sorted. Anyway, on to what we're actually building. As you can see, it's an Arabian style area. I'm going to call it Adventure something, or Adventure Cove or whatever, so it's gonna have some sort of theming similar to the Disney Adventure area, where you've got the sort of Arabian style buildings and stuff, where that spinny ride is with the elephants or something. Am I making any sense there? Probably not. Probably the bit of the park, the Magic Kingdom park, that I visited the least, to be honest. But we're going to go for that sort of thing, but also with a sort of Indian Arabian feel. This first building going in here is inspired by Indian architecture, as is another one that I haven't built yet, which will be done in the next episode. But yeah, it could be any country really, in the sort of either in the Middle East or towards India, I guess. But it's a lot of it, when we get onto the ride anyway, is very generic theming. For this one, I started with this building, which is a random restaurant building, just with, you know, with a couple of stalls in it, just to get an idea of how this theming is going to work for this area, or if I'm happy with it, or if I'm going to continue with it. Which, well, obviously after building this I decided yes, because otherwise this video wouldn't exist, or it'd be a completely different video. So usually I'll do these domes myself, like custom made, but for this one I've literally just stuck on one of the modded domes from the Parkitect toolbox, is that from, or building kit or something like that, one of the earlier mods, but they just work too well for this area to even bother making my own. I do add a little bit of detail into the top, but yeah, apart from that, it's just ripped straight off the mod, and with the colours changed. So on to the first ride, and the signature ride for this area. There's not going to be an awful lot in this area, to be honest. Sorry about the beeping outside, if you could hear that. It would be nice if people would shut the hell up, to be honest. I live next to a main road and it is so irritating when people can't just drive nicely. So what we're building here is a river rapids ride, like you can see, using this sort of circular entrance and exit station building, I guess. But it's all covered up by theming anyway. It's going to be another very heavily themed ride, going in and out of the different parts of buildings and all sorts of things like that. I have done a river rapids once before, I believe, in the game, but it was a long time ago, when that DLC was new that had the river rapids in it. So this is my first proper go, let's say, at building a rapids ride. Excuse me there, just having a drink. So yeah, the layout of it is pretty random, but I built the layout basically with in mind to where the buildings and theming are going to go around the ride. So that's why it is how it is. And with the theming of this, it took quite a long time to get together what I wanted to start with. I wasn't entirely happy with it. I thought it looked a bit too generic. Then I realised that we have those wonderful Arabian walls in the textured wall mod. So I thought, right, well, I'll go ahead and use those for some of the other buildings, and they come together pretty nicely. All in all, it's just about having those different building shapes, different layers, different domes and spires. And yeah, it's a theme that I've had a go at before. Not for a while, to be honest. I think the last time I built anything like this was probably when I worked through the campaigns in the first place, doing the whatever one it was, Mystic Oasis, was it? Something like that. So yeah, it's not a theme that I normally do, but it's a theme that I think can be done really well in this game if you put a lot of effort into it. So yeah, it comes together pretty well. Obviously using the door frames that sort of, well, they're meant for medieval theme, they're meant for a castle theme, but they work quite well as an Arabian style doorway, I guess, archway, because a lot of Arabian style architecture just has loads of these all over. There's a lot of open bits, a lot of sort of corridors and stuff with these door type things on either side. I'm sure you can picture kind of what I mean. Well, I hope you can anyway, because I'm not making a lot of sense as usual. Other than that, really just adding various different scenery pieces that fit in with the theme, like some of the adventure pieces, such as the pots and the vases, or vases rather, however you want to say it. There's not an awful lot of props that you can use for this sort of theming, so I had to be a bit creative and build some stuff myself, which you'll see later on in the build. But I do think I need to go back and look through some of the mod packs as well. There might be some stuff like in the Ancient Egypt pack that I could use for this, because that's a different style of theming. Some of it probably will fit in with this type of build as well. It's always difficult when you're building a tracked ride inside something like this, to make it look like it's all meant to be there, if you know what I mean. So to get it looking sort of coherent rather than just randomly placed like it actually is. Using some of the textured path covers then to do the station with and give it that nice Arabian feel. Yeah, like we use a lot of modded pieces really here, just to make life easier rather than building everything out of shapes. I think, although maybe it's not so realistic, but like you'd see in a lot of theme parks, especially Disney-esque theme parks, putting in different brightly coloured domes and stuff does give it that sort of feel of the theme you go for. The more sort of magical, like adventure theme, almost like. But yeah, like I say, we do some custom scenery pieces later on, which fit this theme quite well. Not going to give anything away now. I'll let you watch through it and see what you think. In terms of this series now, I'm going to try and keep up sort of one episode a week, at least if I can, but you know how it is. Just doing things as and when I can. I do play other games as well, so sometimes I've got more motivation to play them, or sometimes I just want to play this. Really depends what mood I'm in, to be honest, what sort of motivation I've got, because I don't want to build something for the sake of it and then it not be very good. I'd rather put the effort in and take a bit longer doing it, I guess. Yeah, I don't like rushing things. But in my head now, I have got an idea of pretty much every episode, every area of the park that we're going to have. So I'm pretty sure of most of the themes. There might be sort of one empty space which I decide on later on what's going to go there. I need to go back to the front of the park at some point and finish off the Main Street bit, really. Which at the moment just feels to me like a chore. So if it feels like a chore, I'm not going to do it because I have no idea what sort of buildings can go in there. So I'm really, really hoping that some idea just comes to me at some point so that I can just go with it. But yeah, for now we'll just leave it, because like I say, there's no point in doing it if I haven't got any motivation to do it. So I'm going to leave you to enjoy the rest of this build, and we'll talk near the end. then guys, so as you can see, it's all come together now. Most of the building work is in place, some of the theming is done, and right now I'm working on a custom scenery piece. I did one of these sort of things before in the Six Flags Park. It's sort of an idea inspired by Astrotron, who does these really well. For this I thought we need some sort of genie in a lamp, so yeah, this is a blatant rip-off of Aladdin. It's a bit jank. It's the best I could do with my skills on building with art shapes, because really I'm not that great at it. I just sort of use the spear pieces and put them all together in different sizes and hope it looks right. I like how the lamp looks. Well, kind of, I don't know. I like how the main bit of the lamp looks, not so sure about the spout of it. But yeah, the genie, you can see what it's meant to be, and that's the best really you can hope for when building something like this in Parkitect. You know, it's going to be cartoony, it's not going to be realistic looking. You know, we don't have anything where we can build realistic props without building them outside the game and importing them in as a mod, which I have no clue about anything like that. You know, programming or anything like that, or 3D building. That's not my game, to be honest. I can't do anything like that. So yeah, like I say, I'm fairly happy with this as a prop piece. We add a little fire effect there to the lamp that it comes out of as well, and then it's just a case of some rocks and foliage and stuff around the edge to add detail to it really, and a few of the pirate props actually, which are quite useful here, such as the little gemstones and treasure and the adventure treasure chest, and just all things that aren't necessarily designed for this theme but fit in with the theme quite well. It's all about context with your theming in this game, I've always thought, because you're limited on what wall pieces, just for example, that you've got, or what roofs you've got, but you can see what they're meant to be by what you put them with, in a way. And the inside section, which I need to mention because obviously I built before this, that's heavily inspired by a YouTube user called Force Rides, who creates some amazing stuff in Parkitect and built some sort of Arabian dark ride a while ago. So I took a bit of inspiration from that. If you haven't seen the channel, go and subscribe. That's Force Rides. Yeah, I just wanted to have this Arabian marketplace sort of feel as you come out of the station into a little, not marketplace, but like market town, you know, with a few doors and some of them wonderful awnings which fit this theme perfectly. And then you go over into the waterfall section of the ride. Like I said before, I'm just adding loads of rock work in and foliage to this area as well. And for the rest of this build, really, it is just detailing, which I think is important for a theme like this, because this sort of architecture in real life does have a lot of small detailing on it, carved into the stonework, or well, whatever it is, carved into the building work. Again, using the better letters, the fantasy pack letters, and stuff like that for the detailing. Very subtle, and you can't really tell that much unless you zoom in, but I think it really adds to it, and it's just something that I feel I need to do on some of these builds. I really like the red, this sort of mauve, I guess would be the colour, path that goes over the station platform there. I think that fits the theme really nicely, with the sort of Arabian design on it. Again, it's all about context when you're building stuff like in the game. The canopies as well, they can be used for a lot of things, but I think this is the theme that they fit in with the best, especially if you vary the colours on them like this. I think they look really good. I wish we had some sort of way of placing blueprints in different places, or snapping them to different grid sizes, like out 2, out 4, whatever, just so that we could place blueprints more freely. Although I guess that would only be something that that's because of construction anarchy, really, isn't it, that we build like that? That sometimes is a bit frustrating, because I'll blueprint something, I think I'll copy it across, and then it just goes in completely the wrong place, so I have to end up rebuilding it anyway. But yeah, I guess that is probably because I built it with construction anarchy. Like I say, so handy now just to press the C button and flick between the two modes. I don't know if you noticed there, just in the top left, through the River Rapids track, there's a bit of a bug, I think. If you change the track colour for the rapids, you see the outline of one of the ride vehicles that's travelling underneath it go through. You probably see what I mean when I show you the footage at the cinematic at the end of the video. It's just a bit frustrating to work with, but there's not a lot we can do about it really, so we're just going to have to live with it, because it needed the colour changing to fit in with the theme. So, big update coming for Parkitect then. I'm sure you've all seen the video the other day that the developers put up. Multiplayer mode is coming to Parkitect. Now, I remember a while ago the developers were asking, I think it was on YouTube, it might have been on Reddit or something, it probably would have been on YouTube, because I barely ever check any other websites. I don't have Discord or anything, but I'm sure they were asking what people would like to see in the game, and a lot of people, the most popular option was multiplayer mode, so fair play to them, because they've actually gone with what the players have been asking for. So that's brilliant that there is that sort of relationship, that sort of communication, between, the developers and the people playing the game. However, for me, I play this game on my own and it's not something that I would ever really be interested in. Since being a kid and having mates around to play on the old PlayStation games, PS1 and that, I've never really done multiplayer games, especially for creative gaming like this. It's just not something I see myself getting into, to be honest. So yeah, sadly I can't see that feature ever being of much interest to me. If someone did approach me and ask if I wanted to get involved with a project, I might consider giving it a go, but it's not something that I'm really looking to start doing, to be honest. I haven't really got the time either, especially if I want to continue with this project. But still, like I say, I think it's a brilliant addition to the game for a lot of people, for a lot of players, and it's great that the developers are really asking for feedback and listening to it like that. And I think it's, it could be the start of something. We could see some real big gameplay changes coming in the future, because this isn't a DLC or anything. This is just a big release, probably because it's coming up to Christmas time, I guess. But yeah, really positive moving forward for this game, and it's nice to see. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this build. We'll be back with the next episode. This one was cut down quite a lot. It was going to be about 45 minutes, but I have cut down bits. So the majority of the work on this area is done. The next episode should be a quicker one and should be up sooner. Enjoy the cinematic shots in the end, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.